The novel, George Orwell's 1984, done by Cherise Browne and Fadil Clarke.
George Orwell wrote a darkly political novel titled 1984. The novel is set in a terrifying future where a continuously vigilant government uses fear, delusions, brainwashing, and brutal punishment to force perfect compliance from its population. The most well-known piece of Orwell's writing, it was initially published on June 8, 1949, and is the source of the term Orwellian. The book introduced readers to the ideas of the ever-present, all-seeing Big Brother, the infamous Room 101, the thought police using telescreens, televisions with built-in surveillance cameras that are present in practically every room of the book's characters' apartments, and the fabricated language of newspeak.
Strategy 1. Constant surveillance by the government of citizens' daily activities. The concepts of privacy and individuality are non-existent in 1984. With the use of two-way television screens, hidden microphones, and a secret police unit known as the Thought Police, private space in the sense of being unnoticed has been effectively eliminated. An organization called the Party, which functions as the top tier of the institutions that comprise the government in 1984, is in charge of enforcing all of these monitoring techniques. Enforcing these surveillance measures appears to be part of the party's plan to be alerted as soon as a citizen exhibits behavior that suggests a rebellion against the government and its principles, which could threaten the party. The phrase, "Big Brother is watching you," is regularly drilled into Oceania's population through posters placed in public spaces. However, Big Brother's identity or nature is still a mystery. The public has no idea if Big Brother is a real person because they only ever see him in posters and on telescreen voices. As a result, the public is unaware of whether he or it actually exists or if it is just a plot technique to make the public believe they are constantly being watched. One of the most common ways that the novel undermines privacy is through the use of telescreens. Every house and building has telescreens, which are a combination of televisions, cameras, and microphones. In order for thought police officers to keep an eye on the public, they are legally required to stay on at all times. This infringement of privacy was considered normal in 1984. But at any one moment, citizens never know who is truly viewing through a telescreen. It's a panopticon, a jail model in which inmates are never aware that they are being seen. People are kept in line by this fear. But in Winston's case, his telescreen is set up so he can only see a tiny portion of the room where he can write in his journal. This is his one remaining freedom until he discovers the area above the junk shop, which he refers to as his sanctuary. But even the junk shop is under observation. Winston finds that his sanctuary is really equipped with a working telescreen hidden behind one of the walls. It also requires other, more common techniques for surveillance to function. Agents of the thought police operate as regular individuals and can be found anywhere. They watch others for indications of thought crime or any other abnormal behavior. Winston learns this the hard way when O'Brien, the Ministry of Truth's supervisor, reveals himself to be a thought police operative who has been observing him for weeks. For example, our behaviors in the modern world revolve around the Internet. The recording of everything we do is made possible by the Internet and technology, and millions of other people can quickly access it. At present, we monitor posts on several social media networks. People can share their daily activities on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, just like Big Brother monitors its residents in Oceania. Because of social media and the Internet, we have unintentionally jeopardized our personal privacy in today's world.
Strategy 2. Rewriting of history. He who controls the past, controls the present, this is what Winston's job entails at the Ministry of Truth. Nature and effectiveness of this strategy. The novel, the idea of rewriting history, is an effective tool used by the ruling party to keep control over the present and influence the opinions of its citizens. The party's approach to mental domination is summed up in the slogan, "He who controls the past, controls the present, he who controls the present, controls the future." The party continuously updates historical facts to reflect its chosen political narrative through the Ministry of Truth. With manipulation, the past is changed, unpleasant facts are removed, and a narrative of history that supports party theory is created. Individuals' memories and perceptions are directly affected by historical manipulation. Citizens' understanding of the past is always changing, making it difficult for them to challenge the party's account of events in the absence of an accurate historical record. Country reference that uses the same strategy. North Korea. North Korea is ruled by the Workers' Party of Korea and conforms to Juche theory. It has a centralized, one-party government with a strong cult of personality under Kim Jong-un's leadership. Does North Korea maintain hegemony over its people? North Korea, the centralized government uses numerous strategies to rewrite its history to control what the present citizens see and know about the past. The party uses political propaganda to influence how the public views historical events. The party uses educational resources, like rewriting textbooks and orchestrating campaigns, and state-controlled media, like news outlets and online platforms, to present a version of history that supports its ideology and explains its power. The goal of the government is to maintain control, encourage loyalty, and shape a narrative that reinforces the legitimacy of the ruling leadership. The government is always keeping an eye on its citizens. They keep an eye on them everywhere they go, including their homes, workplaces, and restrooms. Big Brother takes this action to ensure that the general public is not violating any laws or regulations. The people of Oceania are forced to live their lives in accordance with the laws established by the government because they are afraid of always being watched and because they know that if they act out, they will suffer consequences. The prole neighborhoods are the only areas where there is reportedly no practice of regular monitoring. Since the proles are the people who are most under propaganda control and have nothing to defend themselves against, the party views them as non-problematic. Winston feels safe in the antique shop because of this, but it turns out that the thought police are also keeping an eye on the prole neighborhoods, so his sense of security is misguided. Similar to the 1984 novel, the North Korean centralized government employs a variety of techniques to rewrite its history in order to limit what the country's current population are allowed to view and understand about the past. To influence the public's perception of historical events, the party employs political propaganda. For watching. We appreciate the opportunity to present to you today. If there are any questions or feedback, we would be happy to address them. Thank you again for having us.